Good afternoon, my name is Jonathan Sire. I'm with CSU Adult Fitness Practicum, and today I'm going to be taking you guys through a chair strength style workout. So make sure that you are stretched out and warmed up. Refer to some other videos if you need to do that, and then come back here whenever you're ready to go. So obviously I'm not at a gym right now, so I'm at a little bit of a lack for equipment. If you have dumbbells, I insist that you guys use dumbbells or some other form of like exercise weight or adjustable exercise grip or something like that. If you don't have anything like that, milk jugs, water bottles, vases, anything along those lines, anything that you can comfortably grab and hold on to without dropping it, where it can give you a little bit of weight resistance, that'll add to the benefit of this workout and these exercises. I unfortunately don't have anything where I'm at right now, but for the sake of having a little bit of object permanence, I do have these two TV remotes. So these are going to act as my dumbbells, just that way you can get an idea for the motion and I can demonstrate it a little bit better. But obviously, if you have dumbbells, if you have some other form of weight or resistance, please use those instead. So, the very first thing that we're going to start off doing here is we're going to have a seat in our chair. The entire workout that we're doing this, unless I otherwise state it, I want you guys to maintain good neutral position in your spine. All that means is that I'm keeping my back nice and straight, keeping my core nice and tight. Some body cues that you can always refer back to is chest out, back straight, core tight, and shoulders back. As you're doing these movements, especially if you're doing it with heavier weight, the weights might start to pull your shoulders in and pull you forward, which will cause your back to start to round out of position. Do your very best to keep those shoulders back and keep a big chest the entire time. So the very first thing that we're going to do to start out is we're going to do some seated dumbbell curls. So I'm going to be sitting here on the bench, that way I'm not tempted to swing my body or use my legs to help me. I'm focusing and isolating these muscles as much as possible. I'm going to have palms facing away from me, and I'm going to come through, curl at the top, big squeeze of my bicep, and down. And my other arm up, big squeeze, down. Up, big squeeze, down. Up, and down. Up, and down. Maintaining that perfect posture, that neutral spine the entire time. There you go. You can also come through both arms at the same time if you prefer. Good. Some modifications that y'all can play around with as well is you can turn your palms facing in and curl here instead. These are called hammer curls. They're not necessarily more or less challenging, not necessarily more or less intense. It's just a different angle of activation. Some people find it to be more or less intense, but that usually varies by the individual. Very good. A few more repetitions here. Good. Perfect. And relax. The next movement that we're going to be doing is an overhead tricep extension. So same thing. Check your posture. Readjust yourself if need be. Make sure that you still have that chest out, back straight, core nice and tight. I'm going to be bringing my weights up above my head. I can do this either one arm at a time or both arms at the same time. Once I'm here and I'm in a nice stable position, still maintaining that good posture, I'm going to isolate my arm and try and keep my elbow in one place the entire time. And I'm going to bring this arm back behind me until I reach a point of tension, and then I'm going to extend, flexing and activating my tricep as much as possible the entire time. Same thing, I can do this one arm at a time while stabilizing with the other arm. I can bring this arm to rest and neutral and do one arm at a time here. If you choose to do that, I'll let you know when it's time to switch. And then, of course, you can also come through and do both arms at the same time. Whatever you prefer. Good. If you are doing one arm at a time, we will switch here in just a few more repetitions. I'll let you know. 3, 2, and 1. Perfect. If you're doing both arms, keep cranking, keep moving. If you're doing single arm, go ahead and work that other arm now. If at any point in time during this workout you need to stop, you need to rest, you need to catch your breath, you need to break these sets up into smaller pieces, you need to grab a sip of water, by all means, please do it. This is your workout. Do whatever it is that you need to do to stay safe and stay comfortable. Good. A few more repetitions on this side as well. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Always control those weights down. Take a second, reevaluate your posture. Make sure you're still sitting correctly. Make sure you're comfortable in your chair. Still have that chest out, back straight, core nice and tight. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to be doing an overhead military style press, an overhead dumbbell press. So for this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come here. I'm going to be holding the dumbbells just above my shoulders, just outside my shoulders, depending on your mobility. And from here, I'm going to keep the dumbbells on one plane of motion, and I'm going to be pressing them up above my head, not locking my elbows all the way out, but just coming through to a nice soft lock, keeping those muscles engaged, and then I'm controlling the weight down. Coming up, big press, nice and strong, controlling it down. And up, big press, down, up, down, up, down. Good, keep it up. Couple modifications that you can try for this if you'd like to alter the intensity is I can come through and I can do alternating arms where I go one arm up and down, other arm up and down. In that same breath, I can also come through and I can do true alternating, kind of challenge my core stability and my balance a little bit more. And then one other modification you can do is you can do this with an Arnold style twist to it, where I start with my palms in, and then as I press, my palms rotate out, and then as I come in, they rotate in again. Whichever you prefer. There's a lot of different ways to do this. None of them are correct or incorrect. It's just your personal preference, whatever your body can do, and what level of intensity you're looking for. A few more movements here. 3, 2, 1. Perfect. And relax for a moment. Take a second, catch your breath, get a sip of water if you need to. Next thing that we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing dumbbell lateral raises. This is going to target the outside of our shoulder as well as some of the supporting muscles leading up into our neck, a little bit in our back as well. And depending on how you do it, it's going to have a little bit of flexion and stability in your arm. What I'm going to do is I'm going to be sitting closer to the edge of my chair so that way my arms are able to kind of hang out to my side. For me, I'm using a bench. If you're using a chair that's a little bit more flush with your body, then you might not have to adjust at all, and your arms might just be able to sit next to your chair. Same thing, I'm going to recheck my posture, make sure that everything is still straight and strong, and then from here, keeping that soft lock in my elbows, I'm going to be lifting these weights up until they are parallel with my shoulders, and then I'm going to control them down. Lifting up, control down, and up, down, up, down, smooth and controlled the entire time. If you want to make these movements a little bit less intense, what I can do is I can come through and I can just bend my arms a little bit more and fly here, fly this way, and just kind of make that moment arm and those levers a little bit smaller. Bringing that weight closer to our center of gravity and closer to our center of mass is going to make it feel a little bit lighter, and it's going to enable us to move a little bit more easily. On the other side of the coin, if you'd like to make this movement a little bit more intense, you have a few options. You can come through and you can go up a little bit higher, past parallel your shoulders, get a further range of motion. You can also come through and you can hold one arm in that stabilization position while you move with your other arms. Make sure that you're switching every couple of reps. Working a balance and a stabilization component as well. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Very good. Take a moment, check yourself, readjust in your seat, do whatever it is you need to do to be comfortable. Next thing we're going to be doing is we're still going to be working out that upper body. We're still going to be working out those shoulders a little bit. We're now going to do a dumbbell front raise. So what's going to happen this time is I'm still going to have those weights, those dumbbells off to my side. I can either have my palms facing in or down, whatever your preference and whatever your shoulder mobility allows. And then from here, from the seated position, making sure I still have that good posture, I'm going to be lifting the weights up in front of me now. Same thing, I'm bringing those arms up until they are parallel and level with my shoulders. They come up, down, up, and down, up, down. Very similar to our lateral raise. If I want to increase the intensity on these movements, I can come through and I can go past parallel, get a higher range of motion. And then I can also come through and I can hold one arm and get a stability component, switching every couple of reps, whichever you prefer. And we're moving here. Good. Take your time. Don't forget to breathe. Good breathing cue is to breathe in at the bottom. Maintain that pressure. And then exhale as you control down. Inhale. If you need something to focus on aside from the movement, that breathing can be a great cue for you. 3, 2, 1. Perfect. And relax. Next movement that we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing some seated dumbbell shrugs. And remember, the whole point of us doing these movements seated rather than standing is that way it focuses on these targeted muscles. And it forces us to really activate, really use, and really work with these muscles. We're not allowed to swing our body. We can't drive with our legs or bounce or anything like that. So it creates a more intense workout. With that said, though, if you need to lower your weight compared to what you would normally do, if you're getting a little bit more fatigued a little bit faster, that's totally normal. Do whatever it is that you need to do to stay healthy and stay safe. So once again, I'm sitting here, got my chest out, back straight, core nice and tight. This is a very simple movement. I have my dumbbells here at my side. I have a nice soft block in my arms, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to be raising my shoulders up as much as I possibly can, like I'm trying to touch my shoulders to my earlobes. I'm going to hold for a few seconds, and then down. And then up, and down. Up, and down. And I'm controlling this movement the entire time. I'm not doing a jerking motion, bringing my shoulders up super quickly, and then likewise when I come down, I'm not just relaxing and letting my shoulders fall loose. I'm facilitating this movement the entire time, staying tense, staying safe. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Perfect. Next movement that we're going to be doing here, I'm going to open up my feet just a little bit to give myself a little bit more room. I still, with all things, I want to make sure that I'm maintaining this perfect posture and this neutral spine. What's going to happen is I'm going to hinge around my hips just a little bit, and I'm going to bend forward. As I'm bending forward, I want to make sure that I'm not bending forward in a way where I'm rounding my back. I'm maintaining this perfect posture, and then I'm bending forward. My dumbbells are going to be sitting here to my side. Some people will come through and bring them under their legs. If that's more comfortable for you, by all means, please do. I'm bending over as much as I comfortably can while still maintaining this good posture, this strong neutral spine. And then from here, I'm bringing the dumbbells up and around behind my body, pinching my rhomboids together, bringing my shoulder blades together. It's almost like I'm trying to take both ends of my shoulders and pinch them together behind my body, doing just a nice, strong rear fly. Good, nice and strong. Keep it up. There you go. If you feel the weight starting to pull you forward and pull you out of position, don't be afraid to reset, reevaluate, and then start again. That posture and that positioning, staying safe and staying in that proper place is the most important thing. Good. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. And come back to center. Give yourself a moment. Readjust your seat. Make sure that you're comfortable. Make sure that you're safe. Next thing that we're going to be doing now is we're going to be doing some bent over dumbbell rows. So we're still going to be utilizing that bent over position. Same thing. Make sure that you're maintaining that perfect posture. Have a nice strong core. We're hinging around our hips. We're not bending or rounding our back at all. For this, same thing. I'm going to have my dumbbells here. I'm going to have them relaxed at my side as I bend over. And now once I'm here, I'm going to let my arms just kind of be parallel or perpendicular to the ground, And then from here, I'm just going to be rowing and pulling those weights up towards my belly button. And then down. And then up. And then down. Good work. Keep it up. Up. And then down. Same thing with the other movement. If as you're doing this, you feel the weight starting to pull you out of position and round your back, don't be afraid to reset, reevaluate, and then start again. Do whatever it is that you need to do to stay safe and keep these movements effective. And down. Good. Keep it up, and down. Up, and down. Good. Keep moving. Up, down. Remember those breathing cues. Up, down. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. And reset. Excellent job. For this next movement, we're actually going to set one of the dumbbells down. You'll only need one dumbbell for this next movement. What's going to happen is I'm going to have the dumbbell, I'm going to grab it on either side. You can either grab it long ways by the heads of the weight, you can also grab it here like it's a microphone, whatever you most prefer, and I'm going to hold that weight nice and close to my chest, keeping my elbows in, still maintaining that perfect posture, that neutral spine of me keeping my chest out, back straight, and core nice and tight. What I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to be taking that same bent over motion that we just did where I was maintaining my posture, hinging around my hips, and we're now going to facilitate a workout with that movement. One thing that I'll encourage you guys to do is just to scoot your legs forward in front of you a little bit so that your knees drop down a little bit. My legs are not completely straight or anything like that. They're still planted nice and firm into the ground, but I'm just bringing them a little further away from my body so my knees are dropped down a little bit. From here, I'm holding that weight, maintaining that perfect posture. I'm hinging exclusively around my hips. I'm coming forward as far as I comfortably can without breaking posture. And then I'm going to, boom, come back nice and strong to that top position. And then I'm bending forward as much as possible, and then I'm coming back. However far you're able to go is going to vary greatly on your lower back and your posterior chain strength, as well as your hip mobility. If you can only move a few inches, that's totally fine. Do not sacrifice technique just for the sake of going a little bit further. It's not worth it, and it makes no difference in terms of the effectiveness of the workout. The important thing is just this technique and these positionings. I'm coming through here. Good. Perfect. I'm going to change my angle slightly. We'll do 5 more repetitions here. I'm going to come around to the side so you can see my angle. Excuse me. So you can see my angle a little bit better. I'm holding my weight here, and I'm just coming through, hinging around my hips, maintaining that perfect posture. Coming up nice and strong. Hinging and strong. You're going to feel a good pump in your lower and mid back. Those muscles lining your spine are going to start to activate. 2 and 1. Perfect. Readjust my bench one more time. All right. Take a moment, same thing. Check yourself if you need to get any water, if you need to take a moment to gather yourself, catch your breath, do whatever it is that you need to do. You're doing a really good job so far. As soon as you're ready, let's keep on cranking. The next thing that we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing a seated oblique crunch. Okay, so this is going to target the muscles that line the side of our core. The hyperextensions that we just finished doing were a little bit of the front of our core and then a lot of primary back. So what's going to happen is the same thing. I'm going to only need 1 dumbbell for this one. I won't need 2. I'm going to start off with that weight sitting at my side next to my chair. I'm going to brace my core and try and maintain that nice, strong, neutral position with my other hand. And then all I'm going to do is I'm just going to very carefully and very gently facilitate a crunch here, leaning to my side, activating that oblique until I feel a little bit of tension. And then I'm going to return back to that center position nice and strong. I'm keeping my core braced, keeping my core tight the entire time. And then I return to that center position. Brace my core and back. Brace my core and back. Good. Keep it up. Keep moving. Brace my core. Back. Staying tight and back. Same thing. Don't sacrifice technique and don't sacrifice that tension. Don't sacrifice that strong posture just for the sake of being able to go over a little bit further. It's not worth it. If you can only go over a few inches, then that's totally fine. That's just what your body can do right now. You'll get more mobility and a further range of motion as time goes on and as you get more comfortable with these movements. Let's get 2 more. 2. Last one. 1. Perfect. Switching sides now. Same thing. Other side. Chest out. Back straight. Core nice and tight. Maintaining this good posture. And over. Good. As you're doing this movement, if you feel your hips starting to tilt or starting to come up off of the chair, that might be indicative of you going just a little bit too far. Shorten the length of your movement. Make sure that you're keeping those hips and your bottom flat on the bench. Nice and strong. Good. Keep it up. Just taking your time. Nice and easy. 3, 2, 1. Let's get a few more just to be safe. Good. Let's 2 more. 2, 1. Very good. All right, for the next movement, you're actually going to set your dumbbells down, set them to the side. You won't need them right now. We're going to move on. We're going to be doing chair push-ups. It's just using our chair as an extra angle and as an extra lever to enable us to do push-ups at a different angle with a different kind of muscle activation. So, what's going to happen
is you're going to be facing your chair, facing the seat. If your chair has a back, the back is going to be facing away from you. I have a bench just for the sake of this demonstration, for the sake of my camera angles. What's going to happen is you can either do this on your feet or on your knees. If you prefer to have a higher intensity, then I encourage you to do it up on your feet. If you prefer a lower intensity, then by all means drop to your knees. I'm going to be putting my hands right on the outside of my chair. Ideally, you want your hands and your shoulders to line up. If they're a little bit in or a little bit out, that slight deviation won't matter. And then from here, I'm going to just control myself to the ground. I'm going to bring myself to a push-up position. This push-up position is exactly the same as it would be if you were flat on the ground. Just the only difference is that I'm using the chair as a lever here. What that's going to do is it's going to allow me to kind of control my body and control this movement a little bit more thoroughly. If you usually have a hard time getting all the way down when you do push-ups on the ground, doing chair push-ups like this will help. It enables you to have that nice full depth and that nice full muscle activation. Good. Keep going. Remember, if you want to increase the intensity on this movement, you can bring your feet up, or you can bring your knees up off the ground and do this motion on your feet. If you need to lower the intensity, by all means, come to your knees. If you're still not able to quite get that full depth, that's totally fine. Go as far as you comfortably and realistically can. Don't force anything. Don't hurt yourself. Coming through nice and smooth. Good. Let's get 5 more. 4 more. 3 more. 2 more. Last one. Good, and relax. Excellent job. So now we're going to switch it up a little bit. We're going to go from our upper body, we're going to start to work and incorporate our lower body. So far we've done arms, we've done shoulders, we've done some chest, we've done some core, we've done some back, we've done it all. So let's give our legs a little bit of a work. What's going to happen here is same thing. I'm going to be setting up my chair as if I'm right on the edge of my seat, with the seat back now behind me here. I'm going to assume my normal squat position with my feet just past shoulder width apart, my toes slightly out, maintaining that perfect posture. My chest is out, my back is straight, my core is nice and tight. My hands can either be here, in front of me, here, crossed here, behind my head, whatever it is that you prefer, and whatever's going to help you maintain that good posture. Once I have my feet set, all I'm going to do is I'm going to be coming through and doing the squat motion as if I'm getting ready to sit down in the chair. Once you reach this bottom position, though, do not relax. Do not sit all the way back. Do not take tension off of your muscles. This chair is just here to give you an indicator and to give you a muscular cue of when it's time for you to come back up. You want to maintain tension the entire time. So I'm here, I'm squatting down, maintaining tension. I feel myself touch, and I'm going to come right back up. Coming down, I feel the touch, I come back up. Coming down, and up. Down, and up. Driving through those heels. I want all of my weight evenly distributed throughout my entire foot, but majority of this drive, majority of this power, a lot of the weight that I'm bearing is going to be through my heels here, lining up with all of the muscles in my leg, nice and strong. Good. A few more here. Good. And 3, 2, 1. 0. Perfect. Good work, everybody. If that was a strong movement for you, then I think that you guys will really enjoy this next one. What we're going to be doing now is we're going to be doing some step-ups or some toe touches. Toe-ups is another name for these. If you want to make these a little bit more challenging and a little bit more intense, you can do these holding your dumbbells. If you'd like to lower the intensity on this, then you can also set these down and you can do these just body weight. It's totally fine. What's going to happen is the same thing. I'm going to be facing the edge of my chair. I have my weight here if I need it, and all I'm going to actually come around here so you can see me a little bit better. And all I'm going to be doing is I'm just going to be coming up with 1 foot at a time, and I'm just going to be going toe touch, toe touch, toe touch, toe touch, toe touch. Nice and easy. All this bench is doing is the same thing. It's giving me a goal, and it's giving me a physiological cue for how high I need to raise my leg. Oftentimes when people do knee raises, high knees, anything like that in the air, the length and the height that they raise their knee is inconsistent. So what this bench is doing is it's just giving me a nice cue to shoot for every single time. If I want to make this a little bit more challenging, I can bring my weights here and hold it a little bit closer to my center of gravity. I can also bring the weights up above my head and add a stabilization component. If I have my weights down here and I want to add more of a cardiovascular component to it, you can just come through and you can kind of Excuse me. You can just come through and you can have faster switches as well, whatever you prefer. Obviously, don't do what I just did. Be careful. Make sure you don't fall. Let's get that for a couple more seconds here. So coming through touch, 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 touch. Few more. Good work. Good. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. Very good. Let me recover my remote here. Or my dumbbell, rather. Grab my other one really fast. Perfect. Working out from home is an adventure sometimes. The last thing that we're going to be doing here is we're going to be doing some chair elevated split squats. If you guys have done walking lunges before, this is just a kind of modification of that. Same thing, just using the chair, using the bench as a lever to increase the intensity of this exercise and activate my muscles in a different way. As you're doing this, if you need to use another chair or the back of the chair that you're holding onto or even a wall to kind of stabilize and keep your balance, that's totally fine. This is definitely a movement that works and challenges people's balance. So all that's going to happen is I have my chair here. I'm going to be right on the edge of my chair, and I'm going to put one foot back on the chair. You can either be up on your toe or flat on your foot, depending on what's most comfortable for you and your mobility. Once I'm here, I'm going to come out to a nice, strong split stance, and then all I'm going to do is I'm just going to bend this front leg, get a little bit closer to the edge. I'm trying to stay in frame on my camera as much as possible. And then all I'm going to do once I find that position and I come to my nice strong stance is I'm going to be bending this front leg down just a little bit. If you want to increase the intensity of this movement, you're just going to bend down a little bit further. If you need to decrease the intensity, you're just not going to come down quite as far. Right now, I'm stabilizing myself on my supporting leg to try and help me keep my balance. If you want to really challenge your balance, I encourage you to try out stabilizing on your leg. Good. A few more repetitions here. Good. And switch. Let's try the other side now. Good. Finding that good position. And then just coming through nice and strong. Good. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Perfect. And relax. Very, very good. Grab this last little piece here. And that's all we had programmed for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this workout. A nice full body pump, a nice full body workout. As you saw, please be careful. Make sure that you're not slipping and sliding. Be safe. Do whatever it is that you need to do to take care of yourself. Working out from home is definitely an adventure sometimes, but we're in it all together. Thank you guys for joining me. Have a good workout.